Hello friends, a very warm welcome to you all. Today I have with me a very senior faculty of English, a very renowned scholar who has taught a generation of teachers, Professor T.J. Purani sir. He has taught English literature at undergraduation and post-graduation level for many years. He has worked as faculty to many institutions. He has worked on many government projects also, and he has made a significant contribution to teaching of English language and literature in Gujarat. He is a very familiar face, a very respected teacher all over Gujarat. He is here with us today to talk about Hamlet and Shakespearean tragedy. Sir, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Ketan bhai.
It's a pleasure for not only for me but all the students who are watching this program all over Gujarat to have you with us.
Thank you.
Sir, Hamlet is one of the best known plays not only of English literature but of literature in general.
True.
A play that has been read, directed, enacted several times all over the world. It has been translated in almost all the major languages of the world. It is one of the most filmed plays
True.
of English literature. It has enchanted, it has attracted, it has mesmerized people all over the world for more than 4 centuries. People have read it, critics have commented on it, directors, actors, they have enjoyed filming the play, presenting the play on the stage. It has baffled critics, it has attracted students.
True.
The central character Hamlet is one of the most commented on, one of the most discussed characters in English literature.
True.
Sir, how can we explain this universal appeal of Hamlet? What is it in Hamlet that has attracted so many people for so many years?
Good morning, viewers, and good morning, Ketan bhai, for your very generous introduction. I welcome all the viewers to the world of Shakespearean tragedy with particular reference to Hamlet. The question, Ketan bhai, that you posed to me is, what is the reason of the perennial appeal of this particular play? To put it briefly, the play appeals to the young people for the simple reason that the protagonist of the play, Hamlet, rebel against the cruel world, the immoral world in which he found himself. And it also appeals to the older people because at the end, Hamlet emerges after the painful experiences that he has gone through a better and a wiser man. This perhaps explains the perennial appeal of Hamlet as a tragedy. When Hamlet was written, Shakespeare had perhaps passed his period of apprenticeship and he had become a master dramatist. When his creative muse was at its height, that Shakespeare wrote the 4 famous tragedies, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, and Hamlet. And therefore, these tragedies have exercised a perennial appeal to the people throughout the world. And another reason could be that tragedies always focus on the internal as well as the external conflict that the protagonist has to face. In most of the Greek tragedies, for example, it was the external conflict against the fate, which was very hostile and inimical. But in a Shakespearean tragedy, it is the inner conflict, the conflict within the conscience of the protagonist. And every human being, Ketan Bhai, experiences this inner conflict more than the external conflict. And this is another reason why these tragedies have a universal appeal.
Right, sir. You very rightly pointed out the four great tragedies that Shakespeare wrote: Othello, Macbeth, King Lear, and Hamlet. These are the four great tragedies of Shakespeare.
True.
And students must have come across these tragedies somewhere in their curriculum, in their syllabi. A.C. Bradley, before a century or so, wrote a book on Shakespearean tragedy.
Yes.
And he tried to give us the substance of what we call Shakespearean tragedy. It was a very seminal work
True.
of Shakespearean criticism. But then after a couple of decades, there comes Kenneth Moore, and he
Right.
says there is nothing like a Shakespearean tragedy. There are Shakespearean tragedies. So how can we, is there something like a Shakespearean tragedy, or if at all, where can we place Hamlet? Is there something like a typical Shakespearean tragedy, and we try to find correspondence in these four tragedies that correspond to this idea or this concept of Shakespearean tragedy? And if not, then how does this play differ from the rest of the tragedies of Shakespeare?
Now, as I said, that the world of Shakespearean tragedy is entirely different from the world of a Greek tragedy, for example. The focus is more on the internal conflict. For example, the conflict that goes on in the heart of Hamlet. To be or not to be
Yeah.
is a question.
Yeah.
Now, this in itself is a proof that he has to wrestle with his conscience, with his inner self. And perhaps Shakespeare acts as our guide through the labyrinth of human heart and human mind. This conscience, at one place Hamlet says, it is conscience that makes cowards us of all. And therefore, to my mind, this inner conflict is of paramount importance in a Shakespearean play. And every human being, as I said earlier, has to wrestle with the conscience, with the inner self. What is right and what is wrong, what is true and what is false, what is ethical and what is unethical. The conscience is always our guide, but very often we suppress our conscience. We suppress the promptings of our conscience, and then one has to pay the price. Now, the four great tragedies that Shakespeare has written, to my mind, Hamlet in some respects stands apart from the other three tragedies. For example, in other three tragedies, Othello, Macbeth and King Lear, the hero or the protagonist is a slave to a particular passion. For example, Othello has a trustful nature. This passion of the protagonist or the hero in all these three tragedies is a weakness, hamartia, which ultimately leads to the doom, destruction and downfall of the protagonist. In Macbeth, it is the unnatural, inordinate ambition. Lear is ignorant of his true love. He could not distinguish between the real love and the false love when he asked his three daughters how much did they love him. But in Hamlet, it is not this misguided passion, to my mind. Hamlet is called upon to assert a moral order in an immoral, corrupt world. The court of Elsinore, for example, is characterized by rampant corruption and immorality. So it's a corrupt world, an immoral world. And in this world, much against his wish and something that is alien to his nature, he is made to practice deception. He has to devise a strategy in order to find the truth, because it is a world of selfishness, of deceit. He rebels against the immoral order of the world in which he finds himself. And it is in this sense I say that Hamlet stands apart from other three tragedies that Shakespeare wrote.
Sir, you referred to hamartia,
Haan,
that is cause of tragedy,
yes,
something that causes tragedy.
true,
As you rightly said, it is not a depravity, it is not a vice,
right,
but a kind of temperament, as the slide suggests. This word hamartia was first used by Aristotle, I think.
Aristotle, yes,
And he says tragedy issues out of this hamartia of the central character.
true,
It is in the protagonist that creates this tragedy.
right,
Hamartia, this quality. It is this quality that creates this tragedy.
right.
But this quality is not necessarily a moral depravity. It is not a vice. It is just a temperament, a quality.
Yes, as I said, it's a passion. And every human being is ruled by a passion. But if the passion goes out of control, if it becomes inordinate, as in the case of Macbeth, for example, there is nothing wrong in having an ambition.
Yeah.
But so long as that ambition is not inordinate or unnatural, it is fine.
Yeah.
In the case of Othello, for example, jealousy, as has been popularly said, is the cause of his
yes.
downfall. Too much of a trusting nature also ultimately leads to his destruction. So, hamartia or weakness, every human being has some weakness or the other. And what is important is you try to overcome the weakness. You don't become a slave to the passion, which ultimately perhaps may take you to your ultimate doom or destruction. So it is in this sense that I would say that the tragic flaw in Hamlet is not necessarily the kind of tragic flaw that we witness in other protagonists, the other three tragic heroes. But here is a man who is a rebel against the moral order, which is steeped in corruption and immorality. See, the play begins with the murder,
Yeah.
and the murderer is the reigning king.
Yeah.
So from the very beginning you will find that there is something, as Hamlet says, something is rotten in the state of Denmark,
Denmark.
and he is made to set things right.
Yeah, made things right. It is the predicament of Hamlet, I think,
True,
that
very
sets him
true.
apart from rest of the
Absolutely,
characters.
very true.
His
very
predicament is exceptional.
True,
So the character has emerged as an exceptional character.
true, very true. And he undergoes some painful experiences,
Yes.
mind well.
Yeah.
And at the end of these series of painful experiences,
Yeah.
he emerges as a better and a wiser man.
Yes.
But then it is too late, as they say, and the whole thing ends in a tragedy.
In a tragedy, yes. He procrastinates, as we say. He thinks he takes a little too much time than he should have.
That is,
In this sense, someone observed that it is this quality that makes him vulnerable in the situation in which he is placed. And someone said that if you replace Hamlet with Othello and Othello with Hamlet,
Right.
then the tragedies would not have occurred.
Okay.
Because Othello acted immediately, rather too soon, and Hamlet did not act
Right.
too soon.
but I'm afraid this license is not given to us to replace one hero with the other. Shakespeare had a specific goal in mind when he wrote these tragedies. You know, the world of tragedy is entirely different from the world of comedies.
Yes.
And as I said, the rainbow world of comedy, where love is supreme, love is the alchemy which ultimately transforms a beast into a superhuman being, for example. But ultimately, life is also full of conflicts. And the reason why Shakespeare wrote these tragedies was to make us aware of the fact that no human being is ultimately happy in life. Conflicts are inevitable part of our existence. Now you referred to the procrastination. He goes on delaying. He has been accused of indecisiveness.
Indecisiveness, yes.
And people say that that is his tragic flaw. But remember one thing, Ketan Bhai. Why does he delay taking action? And the reason is not far to seek. He is in search of some objective proof.
Yes.
The ghost appears,
Yeah.
and the ghost tells him that he has to murder his uncle who has married his wife.
Yes.
But the problem for Hamlet is he wants to know whether the ghost is really the ghost of his father,
Yes.
or is it some evil spirit which is out to misguide him.
Yes.
Remember Satan
Yeah.
in Paradise Lost
Paradise
in
Lost,
Milton,
yes. Yeah.
right? In